why will I buy your laptop and not that laptop which already has logos and brand?
We launched Primebook in December 2022. It's very recent, around 1.5 years now. Till this year, we'll be able to do around 87 crore of business.
We totally agree that the competitors that we have deeper pockets, but considering the Indian ecosystem, and it's a huge space.
Hello and welcome to another episode of BW Tech Talks. My name is Deep and you're watching BWTV. The Indian laptop market is quite frankly huge. In the year 2023, the market reached a value of 5.8 billion US dollars. Between the years 2024 and 2032, this market is projected to grow at a CAGR of more than 6%, reaching a valuation of 10.5 billion US dollars by the year 2032. But when it comes to the affordable laptop segment, which is the below 20k segment, it's a completely different story. Few players and even fewer Indian players. We have HP, we have Reliance Jio, and we have the company whose founders we will be interviewing today, Primebook. So a very warm welcome to all our viewers. We are here with yet another episode of BW Tech Talks, and today we have with us the makers of this little thing, Chitranshu. Welcome.
Thank you, Deep.
Mr. Verma, welcome. So, you know what? In all our episodes, we start with a little backstory.
Okay.
It's choti si journey. Like, where did you guys meet? How did the idea come to inception? Where did it all start? So, if you could please share a few words on that. Yeah.
Sure. So, me and Aman, we both are roommates from college.
Okay.
We were in IT Delhi. We graduated in 2015. During our college days, we were part of NSS, National Social Scheme, where we used to teach underprivileged kids in that NSS program. There actually the idea came where we could see whenever we were going to teach those kids, whenever we used to bring our laptops to the premises, kids were really excited. You know, they were really hooked to what we were doing on the laptop, and we were showing them. And this was way back in 2013-14. After that, 2 years, Aman worked at Paytm. I worked at Smartivity, another startup of my senior. And late 2017, so we started working on Primebook. So the idea came basically that we realized that a computing device is going to become very critical for education. And just like you could not imagine a business in 2005 running without a computing device, in today's learning, you cannot imagine a student learning without a computing device. So we thought, what's the right computing device, okay? And there we realized that because India is an app-first ecosystem, all the education, everything evolved around Android apps. And a better form factor for a student is a laptop, not a smartphone or tablet. And there we saw a huge gap, that for a student, Android is a better ecosystem and laptop is a better hardware. So we thought, let's bring the best of both worlds to the student, and that is how Primebook was born in early 2018, late 2017.
Okay. If I may ask you, what has the last year been for your company? If you could share the stats, the milestones, achievements, setbacks, challenges.
Yeah. So if you look at it, since inception, we have seen a lot of ups and downs in the company, and frankly, we are actually thankful now that we were able to go through all those downs in the company. We launched Primebook in December 2022. It's very recent, around 1.5 years now. And in past 1 year, we have sold almost 100 Primebook daily. So we have sold around 35,000 Primebooks in past financial year. We did some 50 CR of business. And we are the highest rated laptop in under 20,000 category. So we are 4.3 rated out of 5 on Flipkart, and with more than 10,000 ratings and reviews. So that has been the journey of Primebook in the past 12 months.
You mentioned some setbacks. What were those setbacks?
Actually, 2018, when we started it, we started with building the operating system, because that's the major gap in solving the Android in a laptop. form factor. 1 year we took, we were going very right flow, everything was going right, and we released the beta in 2019. And when we released the beta, the response was amazing. We got, in 140 countries and people were loving it. So we thought, we have cracked the operating system. Now let's build the hardware product, the complete stack. This was 2019. We arranged funds, to start the production of Primebook. But, and to a lot of companies, COVID came. And the whole supply chain was broken. Because there was no import, and a lot of hardware material comes from outside the country right now, especially in the consumer electronics segment, and especially in our field. So the supply chain broke. COVID was the very tough period, 2020, 2021. There was no product to sell. PrimeOS was there, but no business to do. But somehow the company managed to survive those 2 years. And at one point in time, we were like only 4 people selling a software and keeping, no salary. So that's what the survival period in 2021 for like 6-7 months.
Okay. Speaking of challenges, is marketing a domain where your company sees like a upward hill to climb, because the people you are competing with have very deep pockets? So what's your thought on that whole thing?
Look, yes, we totally agree that the competitors that we have deeper pockets. But considering the Indian ecosystem and that to be for the education ecosystem in the devising point of view, it's a huge space and a lot of players can coexist.
Okay. So it's not a zero-sum game yet?
It's not a zero-sum game, yes. Players can coexist, but we have a little edge over it because we are not only a hardware company. We have developed our own operating system, which is meant for the education and is targeted towards enhancing the learning of a student in India. So we have that an edge, and so it will be very easy for us to flourish when other competitors add on to our particular journey. We have an edge over the operating system, so we have a total control in making the perfect product for a student.
Okay.
Because we handle the both hardware and software, so the coherence between the both of the things will be very much easy for us to control as compared to the other players.
Okay.
But in the end, yes, a lot of players can coexist. It's not going to be a zero-sum game.
See, the reason I asked you this question is because I think marketing will play a very big role in changing that mentality. If today I go to the market and I have an option in front of me, a laptop which has an HP logo, which has a Google Chrome logo, so why will I buy your laptop and not that laptop which already has logos and brand livery that I know?
Right.
How will you change that mentality? We also have another Indian player in the market from Jio, which already has a big user base. People know Jio. So how will you change that mentality? And I believe that marketing will play a role there.
Definitely, marketing is going to be the biggest pivotal element in making sure that our company survives and becomes the first choice of any sort of a student or a user. Considering that the marketing, from a marketing point of view, what we think that we have to work on the sentiment of the user, and for that we are working very aggressively to make sure that we create a lot of learning tools and make sure that we publish the use cases of those learning tools for the students. So our main goal is we are targeting a niche market as of now. And we are working to enhance their experience over laptop. We are not jumping into an ocean right now. So we are making sure that we build a greater capability and a greater product for a particular set of users first.
Okay.
So that we get an edge over there. Then we will definitely, segment us into different areas of the computer use cases.
Okay. So you're focusing on a specific user base.
Yeah. So think of it like, right now, out of these 35,000 that we sold last year, 30% of them are 11-12 science students.
Yeah.
Preparing for IIT, JEE, NEET, that kind of segment. So that is where we think we will be able to build a partnership moat. We'll partner with the players of the Allens and the Fitchis of the world. We'll build the tech moat where we'll be introducing AI tools, education tools for them. So that's where we think we'll be able to go past through the competition.
Okay.
Yeah. So in the end, it's not just the marketing, but the product side. We also have to focus. We have to enhance the capability of the product so that it will help the marketing to grow and make sure that we become the first choice.
Yeah, so, and in the end also I want to add one thing, right? We truly understand, that the kind of industry we are in, all are Fortune 500.
Yes.
Right? There's no startup. So we believe, in the end, it's the relationship between us and the customer. Everything else is noise. And as long as we are able to build a robust relationship between us and the customer, then we think we are a little game ahead. So for example, when you buy a Primebook, you get a tech buddy. No other company is providing.
Okay.
We are very agile in the way we are evolving. Think of us like the Indian company evolving for the Indian consumer mindset. So for example, we provide free pick and drop service. No other brands right now provide. They provide, you go to a service center, get it corrected. We provide free pick and drop service. We provide a tech buddy for first 30 days. So we are building ourselves, keeping the ASPs in mind, the agility in mind. So that's where we think we are able to, build a better relationship with the customer and not thinking much about the competition.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who is your target user right now? From which city do they belong? What's the age group?
Yeah. So basically, if you think, especially in India, every city has its own tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 segment, right? Initially, when we were launching and intuitively, we thought, it's a more tier 2 kind of a product. But when we see the data, where the Primebook are being used, so number 1 city is Delhi. Number 2 is Patna. Surprisingly, Patna has come up. 3, Bombay, Bangalore, Chennai. So all the major are still in the top 10 list. Then comes Jaipur, Lucknow. So we are in more than 200 Indian cities thanks to the e-com channel. We are in more than 200 cities where people are using Primebook. The target audience is majorly, so as I told you, the 11-12 science student is the most niche that we can find. But student on a whole, using it for personal learning, 11-12 science students, undergrads, non-engineering undergrads is the number 2. Then class 9-10 students. So that's what our pointed out target audience looks like.
Okay. So when we speak about, first of all, this number you mentioned, 35k laptops, this is all from Flipkart?
No, so we do B2B, we have sold to schools, partnerships, yeah.
Okay. Now when I speak about the affordable laptop division, especially the Chromebooks or the segment that you're competing in,
right?
It's a fairly new market.
Yeah.
So if you had to answer, what are the new trends that you have seen in this segment? What are some of the important insights that you have discovered in the last few years?
Yeah. So in terms of trends, as we were discussing, after COVID, the biggest trend that has come up is now you don't have to convince a parent that a computing device is critical for education. You're not saying it's going to replace school. It will never. School has a lot more learning than just the theoretical part. So computing device, if you are aware, a lot of new brands of tablets came along. Second trend, what we are thinking is, now this category of under 20k in itself is evolving, that you are now able to get high quality products without compromising on the performance. So for example, the price of chipsets are going down, you are able to get better screen quality. So these are also the trends. And on the inside of the user, lot of personal learning is actually happening on Primebook laptops. So think of it like people are using PW app, Baiju app, Vedantu, Unacademies, all these they are now using on Primebook laptop. Where we think we are different from Chromebooks per se, or these, these are all US companies, right? Google designed the Chromebook. And in US, the journey of students started actually, for example, in 2005, they had desktop PCs. Our student had nothing. In 2000s, they had laptop. Our student had nothing. 2010s. Which means that all the education became web first. Whereas in India, student got exposed to a smartphone directly.
Right.
Which means that our student ecosystem became app first. So that is how, with this insight in mind, that is how, the Primebook things is going to play a niche against Chromebook, we feel.
Okay. You did mention that these are US companies.
Yeah.
But you do realize that they're being led by Indian management.
Yeah.
So they do know the Indian market more than you
True.
give them credit for.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
But I get your point. Yes. All right. So what's your market share at the moment?
So in the under 20,000 category, if you look at around 10 lakh laptops are being sold to consumer every year.
Okay.
We hold around 3% market share in that. In the under 20,000 laptop category. Yeah.
And if I ask you in the overall laptop ecosystem?
So overall around 60 lakhs laptops are sold every year, bottom up unit analysis.
Okay.
And in that you can fairly assume this would be like 0.5% market share.
Okay. How much market share are you aiming for by the end of this fiscal?
Yeah, so this fiscal year we are we are gunning for around 150,000 laptop, 5x from here. And 150,000 laptop would give us around 15% market share in the under 20,000 price point category.
Okay.
15% should be the market share. And although I'm saying 10 lakh laptops here, this category is increasing.
This is in the sub 20k.
Sub 20k.
Okay.
Sub 20k only.
Okay.
And in this sub 20k, this category in itself is increasing right now at 7-8% CAGR.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What's your marketing spend at the moment?
Marketing,
is there any or no?
We do.
You do?
It's very little because we are currently focusing on creating an organic channel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So you're not looking for brand ambassadors?
Not as of now. Obviously,
like
all these things are in pipeline.
Okay.
Definitely works out for a company.
Because your investors are known for
yeah.
known for marketing.
Yes.
So you're not looking for those things?
Not as of now. Not right at this moment.
But
definitely we will by the end of this year or maybe in coming 6 months.
Okay. If you had to compare your company's performance, sales figures, revenue numbers, FY23 versus this fiscal, last fiscal, how would the comparison be?
So we grew 10x actually.
Okay.
Yeah, we did some 5 CR of business in FY23.
Okay.
And FY24, as I said, we did some 50 CR.
Okay.
Before that, we did 40 lakhs. FY22.
Okay.
So it has been a 10x growth from here.
Okay.
But coming year would be 3x from here.
These are revenue numbers, right?
Top line. Yeah.
Okay. What's your profit after tax?
PAT this year we did around 0.6% PAT.
Okay.
4% EBITDA.
So there's no burn?
No burn. No. We are a profitable company.
Okay.
So I told you, we have seen the journey, so we understand the value of money more. So we are a profitable. We'll run profitable. Yeah.
In terms of expansion, where do you see Primebook going forward?
So in terms of market, we'll be.
You would have to answer this too because you're in marketing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in the GTMs, I'll tell you, GTMs we are gunning for all the major channels that you see, the e-com channels, and we are very bullish about the D2C that we had recently started.
Okay.
Aman is looking after the D2C.
Okay.
And now we are also getting into a very deep B2B partnership ecosystem where we are partnering with all the e-learning providers.
Yeah.
And we are also starting with exports this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. To where?
So Zimbabwe, Bangladesh, and Nepal we have already started.
Okay.
Yeah.
And future wise?
Africa is very huge.
Yes.
Very huge.
It's a huge market.
Huge market. Africa,
and there is very
South
huge
America.
demand for this kind of solution.
Okay. In terms of marketing strategies, again, same question. In the next fiscal, where do you see Primebook heading to?
So from marketing point of view, we're going to push a lot of infusion into influencer marketing. We definitely look for a brand ambassador. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that'll happen this year only?
I'm saying by the end of this year, maybe next year start.
Okay.
We're going to push a lot of money into D2C. We want to create our own network also. And because it's very easy for us to have a control on a lot of things when it comes to your own channel. So these going to be the top 3 things where we're going to infuse a lot of money. Definitely we're going to invest a lot of money in the company also, in the team. We're going to bring a lot of content creators, a lot of designers, video creators, so that it will be very easy for us to put out a lot of content about and the use cases of the laptop in the market. Eventually, from a philosophy point of view, our main aim is to make this brand as the first choice of a student. Whenever they look for a computing device, Primebook should be the first company that should come into their mind. So for this idea, and it should be aspirational for them. So this is the back-end idea in our mind. and through that only we're going to do all the activities in the marketing.
But to get to that aspirational segment,
Yes.
I think you'll have to bump up the price as well, no?
So with aspirational, he meant that the product should feel aspirational.
Price should be the surprising factor.
Okay.
For us, look, we don't want it to increase the price just because if it's costly, then only it's going to be an aspiration.
Mm-hmm.
We wanted to give the best product, best body, faster processor, and better screen sizes, better keyboard, better coherence between the OS and the laptop. And price point should be the surprising factor for you. You're getting all these perfect things into this particular price only.
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
So just to sum it up,
Yeah.
think of it like the Maruti of computer industries. So you will never find us launching a 50 lakh rupee model, but you will always find us launching a value for money model. So we'll always keep in the 13 to 20,000 price range, but launching products which feel good, which are more value for money, which are fast in performance.
Right.
So for example, I said Primebook Generation 2 would be all metallic.
Mm-hmm.
So in that line.
Okay.
Yeah.
First choice for the consumer
Exactly.
and get as much market share as possible. Got it.
Yes.
Clear. All right. Now let's talk about the technology behind the Primebook. Right. Give us a breakdown of what's under the hood.
Sure. There are 3 stacks to Primebook.
Okay.
We are a full stack company. First stack is the hardware stack. Second stack is the operating system stack. Third stack is the value added service.
Okay.
So in the hardware stack, we partner with MediaTek, Qualcomm, like people. We are working with other.
You are working with Qualcomm?
Yeah. So we are open for partnership with any ARM-based architecture CPU.
Have you used their chips yet? No.
No. So in the hardware stack, we work with an ARM architecture CPU and build the whole laptop around it. On the software stack, what we do is we took the open source Android, right, and we converted it into a complete laptop experience. So that's what the software stack is all about. Building the security layer, building the productivity layer onto it. And third, very important that we are working right now is the value added services stack.
What's that?
So basically, for all our existing users, we are coming up. So we already have launched Prime Coding. So where all these students can do coding on Primebook laptops up till K12.
Okay.
We are now launching.
So that's your own software.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So that is why, apart from other companies, we are look at us more like a software company first. Actually.
All right.
Yeah. So Prime Coding we have already launched. We are right now working on primesummary.ai. Basically, it's an AI tool where you watch a video lecture on Primebook, any video lecture, any video, and you want a smart summary of it. So just by clicking of a button, you'll get a smart summary of the video lecture. That too with helping links. So that kind of a AI tool right now we are working on. And similarly, a lot of value-added service layer in terms of our own softwares, third-party partnership softwares,
right,
AI tools is going to come in the technology stack of the.
With whom are you collaborating for this AI tool?
We are building our own. Yeah. We are using OpenAI services and all. Yeah.
Okay. Why MediaTek? This always made me very curious.
Yeah.
Why MediaTek? I know MediaTek has a very vast array of services and products for brands to choose from.
Right.
But still, there's always itches my brain. Why MediaTek? Why not Qualcomm?
Yeah. 2 things.
Okay.
Right. One is we were able to get better price to performance ratio in MediaTek. MediaTek chipsets are little affordable than Qualcomm chipsets.
All right.
For a similar benchmark. Second is what we think, it's our personal experience, could be different for the others. We learned that MediaTek is more of a lot more open ecosystem. So if I want to get a MediaTek product designed by someone, I'll find a lot of partners designing MediaTek products.
Okay.
Versus if I want a Qualcomm based product to be designed, there are very few partners whom Qualcomm have approved to design their solution. So MediaTek, you get a lot of options in terms of different design houses who designs the motherboard. But in Qualcomm, you get access to a few design houses. So that also gives a little less freedom in terms of negotiating the quality and cost.
Okay. So MediaTek made more sense.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. AI integration. I wanted to ask you about that. Is that on the table?
It is.
You answered.
Yeah.
But what else is there?
Yeah. Philosophically speaking, first, there could come a time, in 4 or 5 years where the whole OS layer is now a AI layer.
Okay.
Eventually, people like us, somebody who owns the OS, the Microsofts of the world or the Samsungs of the world, they own phone OS, they will be building more and more AI tools integrated into their operating system to make life easier for the end consumer. On the similar lines, we are also integrating a lot of AI tools. Just I told you about primesummary.ai. Similarly, we are integrating a lot of other tools into the AI layer of the operating system. So there is a whole journey to it, and we are at par, building at par features. Whatever is right for the TG we are after, which are students. So our focus would always be an operating system for this TG.
Okay. In terms of technology, what else are you working on? What are the new projects that are on the table at the moment? What are the new products that Primebook will be launching soon?
So Primebook Gen 2, as I have already told you, Gen 2 we'll release soon. What's in it says on.
Do you have a date in mind? Or
August
month?
Would be the time.
This year?
Yeah, this year.
Okay.
Primebook Gen 2 would come August this year. CPU, I'll tell you later which all CPU, but it will be a 2x faster than this current Primebook. Primebook Gen 2 will be also in 14.1 full HD, 6GB RAM, 256GB storage, all the stuff. That would be Primebook 2 Pro Max, we are calling it, at priced at around 19,990.
Okay.
So that's we are launching. And then from there, the whole range of Primebook 2, which would also include Yoga Book and the 360-degree one.
Okay.
Yeah, and the basic Primebook 2.
Wouldn't you need like a patent for that word? No?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's a general industry word that people use. General industry word, although Lenovo coined it, but it's a general industry word you tell to explain the
all right.
form factors. Yeah.
So this Primebook, this is based on your 6 nanometer
chipset? Yeah.
Or 4? 6, right?
I think 4, I'm not sure. Yeah.
Okay.
This is 8788 MediaTek, 2 GHz CPU.
You already mentioned that e-commerce is a major source of your distribution, and thanks to that you are able to capture a vast area in the country. Offline stores, are those on the table or no?
Yes, offline stores are definitely there. If you look at the bottom-up analysis of the market, 50% of the market is still
because
offline.
People still want to go and feel the product.
Definitely.
If I want a laptop today,
yeah.
Obviously I would search on Amazon, Flipkart, but I would definitely want to go to a store and feel the product first.
Definitely, So offline is definitely on the table, but we explored the offline channel. It's pretty costly. Okay, and considering the ASP, the average selling price that we work on, the channel margin are right now not the right fit we are getting in terms of giving the consumer the best value. Otherwise, the price would increase in the retail segment. Nevertheless, what we are doing is by the end of this year, you will find a lot of Primebook experience zone. So we are now coming up with experience zone in targeted areas like Kota, Indore, where the student hub community is, and those experience zone, for example, would not hold the inventory, but would allow the consumer to come, check, use, play with it, and then eventually order online. So that's what we are gunning by the end of this year, and then in 2-3 years down the line, because offline again requires you, if you want to scale at offline, you need a TV commercial with a star on it, right? That's how you can scale online. Right. So once we are able to raise that kind of capital to fuel our growth, definitely offline will launch. So experience zone is the step 1 of launching the offline, and second is going all out.
So adding to that, to compensate that particular channel which we are not able to open right now, we are aggressively pushing our B2B. So we are partnering with a lot of schools, a lot of coaching institutes.
Which coaching institutes have you partnered with?
So for example, Disha Academy is there. Okay. We are starting with Alan now. Okay. And so you would not have heard of them right now. Famous names not there, local coaching institutes. But on the top 3-4 player, think of us like we are at the verge of getting deals signed. So testing, demo, pilot, all that is going on right now.
All right. Are you looking for funding at the moment?
Yeah, surprisingly, yes. We met
I mean,
at
the
that
answer,
time. Yeah.
The answer which I always get from founders, co-founders, and वो ये होता है कि the answer is yes always.
No, it's not like that. So actually, it's not always yes. It shouldn't be always yes. Actually, if we don't raise funds, still this year we'll be able to do around 87 crore of business. That's our target that we see. So it would be around 1.7x of what we did last year, and with a PAT positive of 4%. But if we are able to raise funds, because the kind of industry we are in, the funds we require majorly is for R&D. So we want to invest a lot on the operating system and the kind of tools we are building in the operating system. So that's for one. And second, the growth. You see the competition we have. So we have to build that narrative, the story of how the Made in India brand is developing the first choice for students. So these two reasons we are, surprisingly, as we are meeting, we are in the process of raising funds. I'm meeting few people. Yeah.
Okay. Your product is meant for students.
Correct.
Right. For studying, for academics. But believe it or not, students like to game as well.
Right.
And gaming and esports are on a roll in the country at the moment.
True.
In the world, actually. The Indian ecosystem is also growing at a very rapid pace. Have you factored in that? And are you making your laptops capable of playing Android games as well?
So not esports, not professional esports, but we have built a very interesting tool in this laptop. We call it key mapping, and that tool was very famous when we launched PrimeOS.
The beta version.
The beta version of PrimeOS in 2018.
Okay.
That tool became very famous.
Okay.
So what it does is, on a non-touch screen device, you are able to play all Android games with keyboard and mouse. So that is already part of Primebook. You can play a lot of games in it. But yes, there will be some restriction on the performance if you are a professional gamer.
Does the Primebook have a GPU? No.
It has a
GPU?
It has integrated ARM Mali.
It's a Mali GPU.
Yeah.
Okay. Going forward, what's the outlook for 2024? And let's leave 2024. What's the outlook going forward in general? Both in terms of growth, marketing, numbers. Please.
Our vision wise, we are very confident, that not just in India, globally, computing devices are going to become very critical for education. We are able to build a solution and have been, lucky enough to get this opportunity that we have got a good product market fit, that people have now liked what Primebook has delivered.
Right.
So our vision is to enable all these students globally, on a large scale I'm talking, with a computing device. There are 750 million students who have not even touched a computer, right? In terms of number, year 5, since we are in the process of raising funds, I just told you. So the numbers, year 1, year 2, year 3, year 5. Year 5 we are targeting to do around 7 lakh laptops. That's our target.
Okay.
In year 5, generating a revenue of around 1200 crores. So that's what we are gunning for. The large scheme of things. So think of it like, in the universe of operating system, you have Chrome OS, Windows, Mac OS, and now there is a Prime OS, which has garnered its space in India and emerging market for the students.
All right.
That's the.
In terms of marketing spends and marketing strategies, what's the outlook?
So as of now, I won't be able to tell you the exact figures, or maybe a ballpark figure also. But definitely we're going to look, our main focus is to create a story right now. So this is what we are working on that's why initially I mentioned that right now we are spending very little. We're working a lot on creating an organic network. And that will be only possible through if you have a proper story behind that product and how it's going to change the life, and focus on what matters to our audience, which is learning, working and connecting. So this is what our team is focusing on, creating that story and able to tell everyone the real use case of this product and how it can revolutionize their life and evolve themselves from their current situation. So this is what we're going to focus on. And if we talk about number, we're going to heavily invest in marketing from this point of view.
I hope you liked the video. For more such content on technology, keep following BWTV and BW Businessworld.